you. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm trying to turn that off, and I clicked it, and it was the video. I didn't realize it was the video. Whatever. We're in it. We're in it now.
Fine.
Here we are.
I'm like, oh, did I miss it?
No. I just, whatever. Hi. How are you, friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I went out to dinner last night with one of my former athletes and her mom. I just love them so much. They're just wonderful. So it was just rewarding, just being able to see her and see both of them actually. Like I love both of them. So that was good. Came home, worked a little bit, sent out the email finally at 8:00 at night, and then went to bed. I was like, I'm just really tired. I'm really tired.
Valid.
It's a long day yesterday.
Yeah.
How about you?
I have the first day of Hankmas. Like, now, to be clear, the way Hankmas works, I make one show set. So, like, I make one of everything for each day. And then I only make what is purchased. So, like,
yes,
if this is a dud, I don't make it.
Got it.
That's a waste of time and materials. So I have the first product completely made. It just has to be turned right side out.
Okay.
And then the second one is 2 steps from finished. So I'll finish that this afternoon. And then the third one is completely ready to go. And that's a really fast product. So I'm hoping that I should have it almost finished by the time I leave tonight.
So that's 3 products?
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 products done? Because
it's hopefully by the end of the day. Hopefully by the end of the day it's 3, yeah.
But it's 1 a night, right?
1 a night, yeah.
Okay.
So like it's one style of bag, whereas normally it's like, oh, there's buckets and larges and oops and da 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 da. It's one bag. So like it's this style bag in 40 different fabrics.
And you're making all 40?
Uh-huh.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Why not just 5? Just 5.
Tried that.
Yeah.
I was afraid people were coming for me with pitchforks.
Really?
Yeah. Because here's the thing, they're like, oh, can you make it out of X fabric? Or oh, I love that fabric. I'd love that new bag in that fabric. So like there's some that I just run every Hankmas. Like I do watercolor yarn, I do Bottle the Stars, I do romance floral. Like there's some that I just do every Hankmas, and then I do what we just like the collection that we just released, like because I always have leftover fabric, so like I might as well use it. And then like if I have any leftover fabric from the year before, I use that because like that was what Hankmas was designed to be. Mm-hmm. It was designed to get rid of fabric on the shelf. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just. I didn't see this coming.
Well, I'm happy it's been great for you because I know that a lot of people really love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun. But like yesterday I had a revelation while I'm sewing away, because here's the thing that people may or may not know about Hankmas is that like, it may be that the product stays around forever. Like the Stash Finder was a Hankmas item, the Super Twofer, the Project Pal, the Oops Project Bag, like the Worth Doing, the Market Show. Like we have a lot of products in our regular run of goods that started out as a Hankmas one night only. Mm-hmm. But there's some that are like, it's one night only because I hate
you don't like making them.
Because I don't like making it, but I don't know that until I make 40 or 50 of them. Like that's just, like you can make one of anything. So the first thing I was like, this is the best thing to start with because like, it's not super intense. I know I can get it finished quickly. Like the more intense bags are almost always at the end because I have to get a certain number of days ahead so that I have like a day and a half to finish one. Right. Mm-hmm. So like the more labor intensive bags typically end up at the end just by the nature of like, I need more time. And, I was like, oh, this will be super easy. And like, I got it all like the front part assembled. And I was like, you know, doing the interior seams is like the fast part. No. I learned a lot yesterday. I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot yesterday. And if anybody in here has been around for a minute, I'm pretty sure the first night's item might go the way of the arm candy. I hated that bag. I never made it a secret that I hated that bag. I had to sew a curve. I had to cut a curve. I hate a curve.
I know this.
And so I'm just going to say that bag may go the way of the dodo.
Okay.
And here's the other thing is like when I design a bag, I don't this is the size I want the bag to be. And then like, how do I fit it on the fabric? Right. So then I play the puzzle game, which like I posted it on Facebook the other day. Like clearly I'm a professional. Like I've drawn all over it. Like I've scratched it out. And there's literally a thing that says like this one.
Yep.
And so like I design the bag and then I decide then I figure out how it fits on a piece of fabric. And like, so sometimes it cuts in 4, sometimes it cuts in 6, sometimes it cuts in 2. Like, it's just, like what the yield is. And I was like, oh, this will be super great. It cuts in 4s. And now I'm like, oh my God, it cuts in 4s.
I understand this. After knitting two sweater vests.
Yeah. Like it's that. Yeah. Like
I love my vest. Literally love it. It is exactly what I imagined. It's exactly what I wanted. Yeah. But I've knit it now. I'm done. I don't need to knit it again.
And like I learned a lot. It's just that like, and I think I can manage it. It's just not going to be a thing. I'm like, ooh, that's fast. Like I'm never going to be like, oh, I can whip one of those up real quick. Yeah. That's not what that is. I can tell you that now.
Got it.
And I thought it was going to be. And that's the other thing about Hankmas is everyone's like, well, why doesn't it ship right away? I don't know how long it takes to make anything. Like, right. I can make one of something in time myself. And like, maybe this bag takes me 7 minutes when I make one. But if I'm making 100, that time, I don't know how long 100 takes. I have no idea. Yeah. Like I can tell you, I can make 100 totes in 5 days. Like I can tell you that. I know that it's like a science. I can make 100 view use I can do 100 stash finders in a day. If the view use are cut, I can do about 60. Like I know this math down to a science, but I've never made any of these things. So like, I have no idea how long it's going to take. Right. I don't know. And then there's always that one bag that's like, at me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's always that little fun part.
Well, I'm sure you will figure it out.
I don't have a choice.
I get it. So I told you guys about the hats yesterday. It took us forever to get those hats done. Like getting it all set up. We were like, all right. By the time I left to go to dinner at 5:30, we were on the finishing touches, and I'm the one that sends out the emails and does everything. Yeah. But we had them up by 5:36, but I didn't send the email out till 8. But these are the finished hats. You guys saw them.
I love it.
I'm really super happy how they look. I love the purple with the cream. Like it just looks really good. Give me a second.
I really like the other one though, the orange and the pink. Like it's real like fall vibes.
So those, let me see here. Let me see. Did it switch? Yes.
No, I'm still looking at you.
All right, hold on. Give me a second. That's not what I want. That's what I want. Nope, that's what I want. That's what I want. You there? Okay. Yeah. So this is the remainder yarn from Robin's, the Suki cardigan, right? So it really comes in a really big rainbow. So you could get a lot of different colors here. I like it a lot. Like it looks really good. And it's always amazing to me because it's the same motif pattern. Yeah. But they're just so different between knitting and crochet as far as how they look and how big they are. Yeah. So this one is only one motif, right? And it has the solid top, but I didn't want that for this one. I wanted to have multiple motifs and a big, like, I like a big hat. Like I have beanie hats too, but I prefer them like this, which is why I've been doing the double cuffs lately. Cause I find that it sticks on my head better, like around my head, and I can still have this. So I love how the purple transitions and you end with the white up here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like it.
I really like it.
I'm very, very, very happy with how it looks, and with the slip stitches, your inside is just as pretty. I don't know. So those are those. We decided we were going to keep those up today since they were late yesterday. We were going to keep them up today throughout the day, and we're going to put out 2 more today. So there'll be 4 patterns. If you didn't get them yesterday, you can get them today. But this is one of them.
Oh, that's
isn't that cute? So it is a baby child size of the Suki cardigan. So if you guys,
that's so cute, I could die.
That cute. So, and this is made with Karen Blossom cakes. It's just adorable. So you could have a mommy and me cardigan if you wanted.
So cute.
Isn't that adorable? So we have that one for the crochet, and for the knitters, we have what I'm wearing. This is the Amanda Woods knit cocoon cardigan. So it's very large collar, like it's a 12-inch collar. So you could fold it over, you could whatever. The lacy stitches, you make it sideways, like you cast on over here and you work up and down to get that way. So using a self-striping yarn, I get vertical lines. Let me show you. So I get the vertical.
Oh yeah.
So you can make it out of a solid for sure, but if you wanted to really take advantage of the vertical lines on the back, right? And then up here, they look like they're horizontal, but with the lace being vertical, and the collar being moss stitch, your eye doesn't settle, so it's a very flattering, comfortable piece.
Is the Amanda Woods, is that from The Holiday?
Yes, it's exactly what it's called. So the other thing is the collar is made separate from the cocoon, which I know is a drag, but I did it on purpose because then the bottom of the cocoon doesn't pull in on your ass. So it's very comfortable. And then these are long enough that you could wear them flat. You could fold them up, whatever works. I have had this for years. I just never published it.
It's gorgeous.
So the other day when I was showing Robin, she was like, because you guys know, I mean, Jolly Holiday and Stash Busting Quickies, it all really started with, I have so many patterns that are not published. And it was like, let's do this. Let's get our patterns published out there. People will enjoy them. And so this is one of those patterns. But this is, I mean, it's great. If you liked making the Know Your Worth, you'll love making this. Like, and wearing this. It's very, very comfortable.
What yarn did you make that out of?
Unforgettable.
Really?
Yes, it's just unforgettable. So you could use all sorts of different yarns out there.
I love the color. I love the color.
Yeah.
Shocking. It's green and purple.
I know, right? Yeah. So you could really make it out of any yarn you want, but I chose I liked the colors of Unforgettable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, there you go. Those are what's up. Robin said she might be able to get them up before we get off, but we'll see. She's working behind the scenes. Crocheters, I'm going to let you know tomorrow. Your mind is going to be blown by what the project is. Like, mind blown. I will say it was designed by Megan Kreiner. I'm just going to leave it at that. So if
I know what it is.
If you at all have considered getting Jolly Holiday, and because you like at least 1 or 2 of the patterns or whatever, like, yep, you're definitely gonna want that for sure. Not that the knitters aren't going to be happy too. Tomorrow's pattern is really nice too. But Megan Kreiner is amazing. So yeah, that's the free patterns. And then today's the last day for the discounted courses.
Oh, that's right.
Courses. Yes. So I have something fun.
Okay.
I got, at least I think it's fun. I got a box of yarn. And I was like, what is this, right? And it's from Yarnspirations. And I knew this was a new yarn coming out. And we just got the okay to talk about it yesterday because they did a soft release where it's on the website. So I want to show you guys a brand new yarn, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
All right. So this is blanket yarn. Let me switch to my hands.
Yeah.
So this is blanket yarn.
Stop it.
Isn't it great? Great colors. So
I'm in love with these colors.
They're great colors, but here's the best part. They are made to make the granny square. So it's color pooling to make a granny square, just like the all-in-one that we did for Red Heart Super Saver. So now we're doing it in the blanket yarn also. So you have to play around with your tension a little bit sometimes, just to make sure you get the granny square. But all of these are designed to make granny squares. And I love the colors of them. I love the idea of granny squares with blanket yarn, because then you get a really big, soft, cushy. I mean, this one's really pretty. That's a navy blue.
Okay.
So it's
like a little gray on my screen, but I believe
so this is kind of like grayish brownish. And then brown and gold and navy blue.
Okay.
It's a navy blue. Look at that one.
I love that one.
I love that one. It just makes me happy, but that's what it turns out to be. You can see there. Yeah. And then here's this one. A lot of fun colors.
Ooh, I like that too.
So you can absolutely partner this up with the regular blanket yarn. Like if you wanted to seam it together with a regular blanket yarn, you could try and find one of the colors that would mix in with these, or a cream or whatever. But this is the brand new blanket all-in-one granny. And
someone said that she saw it on the website yesterday, and it makes 4 of those granny squares per skein. That's pretty decent.
Right. So it says for a baby blanket, you would need 3 balls of these.
Okay.
For like a larger blanket, you would need 5 balls.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I know last night, Mikey and Sarah, they were playing with it last night. We were talking. And I mean, okay, right here, that's a join, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. Like you can just cut that out, and you figure you just like anything.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun to do. It does have the pattern on the ball band, I do believe. Let me look. Yes, it has the pattern on the ball band, and
nice.
It includes the chart. That's amazing.
Oh, that's really nice.
I don't think I have ever seen a chart on a ball band before.
That's nice.
Yeah. So this is the granny square technique. If you guys don't know, there are so many different ways to make a granny square, but this is the granny square technique that they used to make sure that they had the right amounts of each color all the way around.
Yeah.
So if you follow that granny square, that supposedly you're supposed to be able to have it hit right perfectly. But you could also use this and, use the plan pooling technique. You could do anything. That's what it is. It's just there's set amount of lengths of color, and you just keep control of it all. So I wanted to show all this to you guys, and if you'll give me a second, I will send you my affiliate link so that way they know I sent you. Because the other thing I did yesterday, you guys, is I sent in my pricing proposal to see yes, to 2 different companies. But I did that yesterday.
There you go. I was like, we're still looking at your hands.
Yeah. So we will see. I mean, who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. I have no idea. So
that's why it's the future.
That's why it's the future. I mean, I seriously I talked about this last night with my friends, that no matter what happens, I'm at peace with it, if that makes any sense. And it's not that I'm looking at it to be a negative. Let me see here, tracking. And it's not that I'm automatically thinking they're not going to work with me, but I'm definitely prepared if they don't want to. I understand things change, seasons change, priorities change, trajectories, plans, all of that. I understand. And if I'm not part of their plans, I understand. And I would rather know now than later, right? So we'll see. But anyways, all of that is to say it would be really good if they knew I sent you guys, if you don't mind. So give me a second so I can get you the link. I should have thought about that before I did all of this so that you guys could.
Well, they look great. I mean, they look like a super bunch of fun. Like,
I'm excited to try one out. I was privy enough that they let me use the other granny square yarn before it came out, and then it's been a huge hit. And then they came out with the Flower Power yarn, which is part of the granny square, but it has a flower in the middle.
Yeah.
So this whole side of the yarn development that they've done, obviously I'm guessing you guys all know I was really big into the plan pooling stuff. Like I wrote a plan pooling book.
Yeah.
I did all the things. So to me, this very much is just it's that's what it is. It's plan pooling. It's plan pooling, making granny squares. So it does not surprise me that people are very excited about it, because it's plan pooling was something different. It was fun, and you don't have to buy a whole bunch of different yarn to make what you want to make.
Right.
You know what I mean? All right. I know that's a really, really super long link, but that has my tracking code on it. I'm going to put it into YouTube as well. Facebook would not let me add Facebook today. So that's why we're only on YouTube today.
That's strange.
No other reason why. I just couldn't get it into work.
Facebook seems to be having like a whole moment the last few weeks, like struggling. So yeah.
All right, let me write this out here. But yeah, so it was I don't know, Linz, you ever like this? Like, you know you have to do something, and it's going to feel so good once it's done. It's not going to take a ton of time. You do know it's going to take some thinking, and it's going to make you get in your feels and get in your like real thoughts of what am I worth? I don't know how else to say it. It's because that's what it is. It's, if I'm going to do XYZ, what am I going to charge for XYZ? And more often than not, you guys, I will look at it and I'm just like, gosh, that feels like it's so much money. And then I break it down to what all goes into it. And if they had to hire somebody that did each individual thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm coming out way cheaper, So I don't know. It's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, all of you out there who make things for markets or all the things, you understand what it's like. You have to price your goods, so my goods is part of this of what I do. So we'll see how it all turns out. But I did that yesterday for 2 different companies. I finally did it. I'd been meaning to do it for 3 weeks now. And yesterday, for whatever reason, my mind allowed me to think about it and get it done. Because before that, I was trying so hard to think about it and process it. And I just couldn't get my head around it, I
understand.
So, So I mean, I'm hoping that these companies want to still work with me. We'll see. Yeah. But if not, that's okay. I know I have you guys. I know God has a plan for me. I've said this all along my whole life, not my whole life, my whole career. I have said that I mean, for whatever reason, God is opening the doors and I'm just walking through them, because the way I have, and yes, I work hard. I'm not downplaying working hard, but to get to where I am and the things that have happened in my life to get to where I am, you wouldn't believe it if you watched a movie on it. Like it just,
you'd be like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Right. It just doesn't happen like that. And it truly happened to me like that. And so I have to just put my faith in God, because I do. And if you guys don't know, my favorite quote ever is actually what my, the lady who taught me how to knit, her name is Starry. She was my pastor's wife, and she's amazing. And when I started doing all the designing and whatnot, I'd said something to her and she said, you need to not put God in a box. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, don't tell God what he can do. Don't put him like, oh, you only can do this. God can do anything. So don't put God in a box. So that's my favorite quote. Like I say that to myself all the time. I say it to my kids all the time.
So along that same line of like, don't put God in a box. So Michelle goes to church with a lady who's a doctor. And I don't know how Michelle and I started talking about this one day. I don't know. And she said, oh, this woman I go to church with, she's a doctor. And she said, and this is the thing that like lives rent free in my head, I can't get it out, is that modern medicine is an extension of God's grace.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And then this one, you ready? You don't get a say in how God chooses to heal you. Maybe God wants you to take that pill. Maybe God wants to heal you with his almighty hand, but you don't get a say. How dare you think you know better than him? Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Heard. Cool. Right. But like the idea that modern medicine is like, if you've got a headache, you can take Tylenol. Yes. Right. Like it's an extension of God's grace. Like, I don't want you to be suffering. I don't want you to like, you see what I mean? And like that, don't
totally
put that in the box. It's the same kind of thing. Yep. Like we just don't think about it in those terms. And like to hear someone who's in the medical field to be like, there's nothing wrong with, like I take a mood stabilizer. I have no problem saying that. I take Prozac every day. Like I don't have any problem with that. I take
Wellbutrin.
My dad took Wellbutrin. Like I take Prozac. Yeah. I have no problem telling you that. Like my serotonin doesn't work all the time. Store-bought is fine.
Yeah. I deliberately went to the doctor, I want to say in August or July. It must've been August because it was after the pneumonia.
Yeah.
August, September. I was not good. I was not in a healthy place. I did not feel like I was worth doing the job I'm doing, that I'm not good. It's just a lot of negative self-talk, and I'm not that person. I'm a very glass half full, very positive person, very encouraging, very, you got this. And I just was not in the right place. So I talked to my doctor about it and got on some Wellbutrin, and I feel 100 times better, like so much better.
Yeah. Like I feel so much better. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like this is great.
Yeah. So anyways, all that is to say, if you're a praying type out there, just if you could help me, just not pray for anything specific, just pray that I just I'm going on whatever path this next journey is going to be. Whatever, I hope
whatever next adventure we've got it planned.
Whatever it's going to be, it'll be okay. I'm going to be okay. And I know that. So it's good. But yeah, so that was a really big task yesterday though, to take that off. Cause so my question still stands. Do you do that where you'll have it on, and you put it off, then you finally do it. And like, I did it and I instantly was like, I need to go take a nap. I didn't.
Oh, but it's so exhausting.
Because it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
So exhausting.
It's exhausting.
All of it. It's so much. And
that's how I feel when I have to design like a fabric collection. Because I had massive imposter syndrome about the collection for the holiday collection this year. Like I had massive imposter syndrome about it. I was like, oh my God, no one's gonna like it. And like that negative self-talk. And like, I was like, no one's going to buy anything. It's so terrible. Like I'm not doing, it's so hard. It's so
I understand.
Hard.
I understand. Yeah. All of that. It's tricky just to put it all together. Hey, side note, I'm wearing Alona.
Is that the Alona Mar lipstick?
Well, yeah. The one she promotes all the time,
she uses,
which is funny. Cause you know how I got this lipstick? Rebecca Velasquez.
I know that lipstick.
We were at Ellen's. I'm sorry, I'm like name dropping all over. We were at Ellen Gormley's birthday and we were eating like fried chicken and like we went out to like Southern food. And she had lipstick on to start and she had lipstick on at the end. And I said, what is that? And she told me it was the Maybelline. It's in my other room. And I'm like, I got to get that. And this stuff, you put it on, you want to be careful when you put it on because it's going to stay. Like it's going to stay for 8-10 hours. It just stays. So like I've been drinking coffee all morning.
I wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
So yeah, this stuff is absolutely great. Absolutely great.
On you.
It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. But yeah, those are the big things happening over here. Hold on. I was going to say something. Hold on. Hold on. It'll come back. It's gone. Don't you hate that?
Oh my God. It's so real.
It was here.
And then it just flew right out your head.
Talking about,
we were talking about lipstick. You said Ellen and Becca and Alona Mar.
Before that.
And we were talking about imposter syndrome and how hard it is. And you have to go take a nap after you like really sit down and like, this is what I'm worth. And you put it off and you put it off and then you finally got to do it.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It must not have been that important. Whatever it was. If it was important, it'll come back to me. I don't know. Oh, you get that from Dad? What do I get from Dad? What do I get, Dad? That's my dad.
The thing flying out your head?
The thing's flying out my head. My loss of memory.
Pretty sure.
Thanks, Dad. It's funny. Yeah.
Funny.
Oh, memory loss.
Memory loss.
Thank you. Can count on you, Dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea I don't know what I was going to say. Did you get those pants from the other day that we talked about?
I did. Okay. I bought them when we got offline. Okay. I bought them. They've shipped already.
They have. Oh, that's good.
So that's exciting. Good. I'm excited at the idea that I could wear jeans that don't feel like I'm going to get sliced in half.
I hope you like them. I mean, I'm wearing my Lane Bryant ones today, which I love my Lane Bryant ones.
I like my Lane Bryant ones too.
I wear them a lot.
But right now, my favorite pair of jeans, the ones I wore all weekend, because I had all those things, the ones I wore all weekend, well, not to the wedding, but I think they're from Torrid.
Oh, I have some Torrid jeans.
And they were just the ones that were the softest. And I was like, that's the winner this time. Because I also have a pair by Good American. Like I bought the they're like a range of sizes. So like if your weight fluctuates, they'll still fit you.
Got it.
And I really like them, but they are so thick. And I was like the fabric itself is just really thick. Yeah. And I was like, nope. I put them on my body and I was like, this is not, nope, overstimulated. Can't, nope.
I went into Athleta yesterday to look around and I didn't see anything. I was like, I don't need it. It's kind of a weird feeling, because I love their clothes, but I just don't. Guys, I have a doom pile like you would not believe in my bedroom. I feel like I should show you guys. I mean, it is. But it's my doom pile of clothes. Like I've been wearing the same clothes for like weeks now because I just don't want to.
Because I just don't want to put them away. Like Dave puts them there, and that's what I'm going to wear.
Yeah, it's on the top of the pile. Great, I'm going to wear that green shirt again. Yep. This thing, I think I've worn it like 7 times in the last 2 weeks. I
have like 9 of this shirt.
Yes.
So like I just
my Torrid shirt, the tunic shirts, whatever. Yeah. I have so many of those. I wear those all the time because I love those.
Yeah, I just don't have to. I don't have to think black shirt. Done.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I got up. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. Just woke up bright and shiny. I was like, all right, took a shower, got dressed. I went and picked up Starbucks at 6 o'clock for John and I was down here by 6:20.
Man.
I just been working all morning.
I did do a little Christmas shopping on my phone for the girls here. I did a little Christmas shopping on my phone. And then I was like, I got to get in the shower I was in the shower and I was like, is that thunder or is that wind? Because like the way our house faces, we catch a lot of wind. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think it's wind because the dog's not freaked out. So it must be wind. No, it was thunder. And we have had like a massive, massive amount of rain and a massive thunderstorm here all morning to the point that like normally Dave and I go get breakfast together, like, because we don't typically get to eat dinner at this time of year together. So we get breakfast in the morning instead. And it's like, I mean, it's not a lot of time, but it's 30 minutes, right? So like, okay. So we went to normally we go to breakfast and I just drop him off back home and then I come here. And today I was like, I'm getting ready as fast as I can because I got to get to the office before this rain gets really bad. And he was like, I'll just do my own breakfast. Like, you go ahead and get in. And like normally Hadley, like she goes outside and goes potty in the morning. And then when we go to the car after, like I do my morning thing, after we go to the car, she wants to sniff the front yard because she potties in the backyard. She wants to sniff the front yard. And today she was just like, get me in the car, get me in the car, get me in the car. And she did not go potty. She has not gone potty since she got up. She has not gone outside. And she was so stressed out while I was blow drying my hair that I had to put her in her thunder shirt. So she's in her thunder shirt. We gave her an entire trazodone. Normally, if there's a thunderstorm, I give her like half a trazodone. Gave her a whole trazodone and put her in the car, came here, and it was like I drove through torrential rain. We were doing 30 on the interstate. Ooh. Torrential rain. And then I got it, and like the rain let up a little bit, and I was able to like get in the studio without getting soaked. And then I literally got her into the office, and it was just like when I tell you it was constant rolling thunder, like it thundered for a solid 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And so she's been under my desk. She's laying on my feet. Her head is between my feet so that if I move even the slightest bit, she's awake. It's going to be a rough day. And so like normally I would have been sewing this morning before we're live, but instead I've been working on creating the documents that create all the products for Hankmas. Which, can we just talk about how that is a thing that takes so long? That is such a tedious process, and it is something no one sees.
Yep.
They just see a product description and they're like, yay. But like I had to measure the bag twice. I had to fill it with yarn to see how much it holds. I have to figure out how much it weighs for shipping. I have to come up with its keywords. I have to write the description. I have to format it for this. I have to do.
That's literally what we have spent all morning doing.
Yeah.
Robin called me.
It's so time consuming.
Yeah. We were on the phone. Let's see. Or not the phone. We're always on FaceTime together, always.
Yeah.
But let me go back because it'll tell me how long our call was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
2 hours this morning, 2 hours and 13 minutes. And it was all about measuring this, weighing this, taking all of the pictures for this, taking the pictures for the sweater. And then she's in the process of doing all the behind this. It takes so long.
So long.
And
like I sat down and I started working on that at like, I want to say 9:30 ish. And I think, let me look at my spreadsheet. I got three. I got 3 products done between 9:30 and when we went live. I'm like, look, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I use AI to write it because it's better at getting the keywords in there a bunch of times. Like I use AI to write it, but then
absolutely.
But then I go back because like it loves to use the word. What is it that it always uses? Like functionality. And I'm like, I would never use that word. Or like stylish. I would never use.
I say word. Stylish.
You do clothes. Like I don't. But like, and it's always like. Introducing, and I'm like, no, delete. Like every time. And so like you have to go through and you have to fix all those things. Like even though it does the writing, you still have to go back and like make it not sound like a robot.
Right. And you got to make sure it's correct. Like AI is not always right.
It's not always right. Like I will give it dimensions. Like it is this many inches tall, this many inches wide, this many inches deep. And then it just somehow is like, I do what I want. I'm like, this is finite. Right. Like what?
Or it will, like for me, it'll talk about something and then I'm just like, none of that is correct. Like none of that is true.
None of that is
right. And
like I had to basically completely rewrite one because I was like, none of that is what I told you. Like, because like it says like list the features of your products or, you know, you list everything. And then it's like, you know, what are your key features? What sets you apart from your competition? Like you do, like there's a set of things you do. And like, I think it was like the second one I did. And I was like, none of this is right. Like none of this is right. And I was like, cool. I have to basically rewrite this entire thing. Awesome.
I understand that.
So like that took me forever. And so like I'm almost done with the 4th one because the other thing that people don't realize is like for you to find us, like I have to have it write me the SEO title. Like if you Google it and you find it on Google, like that heading that you see, that's the link, that is the SEO title. And then that little blurb you read is the SEO description. And you have to write both of those.
You know that you have to put your title in that first paragraph, correct?
No.
Yes. So your SEO keyword that you're trying to hit for has to be in your title, it has to be in your first paragraph, and it has to be in your slug.
I know it's in my slug. I always have it in my slug.
Yeah. It's fun.
Oh,
I know.
So I'm not done with those 3 because I got to rewrite the descriptions.
Yeah. So you know that like if you're using ChatGPT, you can, I don't know if you pay for ChatGPT or not, but you can train it so that you can say, hey, make a note that anytime you write something for me, make sure it includes XYZ in these locations.
So I used before ChatGPT had the paid feature where you could like train it really well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember like I was like, oh, I want one that I can train. So I used Jasper, which
so I stopped
very
using
expensive. And I would rather use ChatGPT. So I'm canceling my Jasper subscription in January and I'll move to ChatGPT, but I just haven't done it yet because I still have time on this.
That reminds me, I need to check and make sure I'm not like on auto pay for Jasper.
Yeah. Because I meant to cancel it last year and do that. And here I am.
All right. Jasper auto make sure. All right. Got it. Made a note.
Yeah, girl.
I hate that. You know, I'm lucky. Some of my stuff that, you know, it auto pays or whatever every year, I have it spaced out pretty good. But the one that really gets me is in July when my business is the lowest. Vimeo, because I put everything that's in the Marley Birdhouse in Vimeo, so there's no ads. Yeah, it's $900. Smack. It's so much money, and I'm like, are the ads really that bad? It makes you wonder, do I really need that? But yeah, so in July, in July, when you see like things go on sale and stuff, because I'm trying to get some cash in to pay for Vimeo.
I get that.
Oh man, it's so much money.
Like,
I'm like,
it's like when I switched from Comments Sold to that first app that was like an unmitigated disaster.
Yes.
They made me pay for a year up front.
That's what I was going to ask you about. That's what it was. I was going to ask you if you have tested the app since the last time you've been on to make sure that there aren't going to be any kinks for Hankmas. That's what I was going to ask you.
So there weren't any kinks in the last live. There should not be any kinks in this live. Like the new app company. And if there are, like, legitimately, when I tell you that they are like the most aggressively helpful group of people in the world, like, I don't know how else to describe it. Okay. Like, I have the co-founder's personal email address. And when I had an issue and like nobody was responding, I emailed him. He called me like from his personal cell phone and was like, I'm aware of the problem. I have my team on it. Give us 20 minutes.
All right.
And then he fixed it. And like, I must've refreshed it right as it fixed because I was able to do it. And then he called me and he's like, it's fixed. Refresh your page. Make sure it works.
Wow.
So like,
that's great.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's so much cheaper than the other guys. So that's really good. Like,
because
the number, like when it comes to like live selling, like it's a whole different, like it's a whole nother platform, right? Like, and so many places basically punish you for being good at your job. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. So like most companies charge you a fee for the platform. Okay. Duh. You have tech, you've got to support. I understand. Mm-hmm. You've got a support team. You've got engineers. I get it. You got to pay your people.
Right.
But then you have to use their credit card processing. So that's 3% right off the top. And then they want anywhere between 3 and 7% of every sale you make.
Yeah.
That is like,
it's really, I still follow a girl who does not Lululemon, but the Lala's, whatever, the legging thing.
LuLaRoe.
Yeah. And, last night, I have never watched one of her lives, but I get her updates and stuff all the time. And she was like, talking about how the comments weren't working on her live and she had to like adjust. And I was like, I wonder if you're still with Comments Sold or what you're with, because she was going through it too. Cause she does the same thing you do.
Yeah. And like, it's not like I don't look at other platforms. Like, I mean, I pretty regularly check out to see like, is there something better? Are there better features? Like, I mean, that's a thing you have to do, right? Like you're constantly doing that as a business owner. And like, I sent a whole bunch of emails a while back to be like, is this better? Would this be better for our, a better live selling platform? Like blah, blah, blah. And when I tell you, like, that was probably right after Small Business Saturday. So 3 weeks ago. I just got a response from one of them today.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, that is not the energy, bro.
Right.
It's not the energy. Like, I'm going to need you to be way better at it than that.
Right.
So
I told you guys, like, I started the Etsy shop this year. Because part of, yes, Etsy is expensive. Like they take quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
They take a large portion.
Platforms are very expensive like that now. Most of them are.
And it is what it is. The best thing about Etsy is that they also help promote. Like if you are in I'm going to call it a hot right now. But that's not what it is. Like a bestseller sort of thing. They help promote you, which is fantastic. Like Ravelry does not do that. I'm not dissing Ravelry. I'm just making
it's a different choice of business model. That's all.
Right. I mean, if you are a designer and you have made a design, you put it up on Ravelry and you sit back like, all right, let's show me the money. Like that's not what happens. It does not happen like that. And it is very hard to get on a hot right now in Ravelry. And that doesn't guarantee you anything. Like Ravelry is fantastic. I love buying my patterns on Ravelry. I love using my Ravelry library. I love buying other people's patterns on Ravelry. But when it comes to the business side, Ravelry is not my best choice when it comes to the marketing. It is my better choice price, but you have to then weigh it out of, okay, am I getting more over here with the marketing? The hard part there is with Etsy sends traffic to you as much as you send traffic to Etsy. So if I don't send traffic to Etsy, then I'm just shooting myself in the foot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to do my Etsy store. It's doing well. I mean, I've had over 2,100 sales. Like, it's doing well.
Yeah.
I would like it to even do even better. Just keep going with it. So in the coming year, if you see I have even more Etsy stuff going on, that's why I need it. I need to.
Like, here's the thing. Like, everybody knows about Etsy. Like, I remember when Etsy was a thing that I had to explain to people. Like, we started on Etsy.
Really?
And they're like, oh, do you have a website? And I'd be like, no, we're on Etsy. And they're like, what's Etsy? I'm like, it's like eBay, but for handmade things. Like, I remember that. And then what's so funny is that it switched at a certain point and they stopped asking me if I had a website and they asked me if I had an Etsy shop.
Yep.
And it was right around that point where I switched the other way, where we were paying too many, because like at the time, Etsy was not promoting you. At the time, it was like people found you through searches and SEO and you had to do that, which is fine. They still do that. But Etsy didn't promote your stuff. And so like when I went and looked at my analytics, how people were finding me, no one was finding me through like project bag, needle organizer, needle case. Nobody was finding me on those keywords, which is what I was targeting. Everyone just searched Erin Lane. And I'm like, well, if they're going to search Erin Lane, I should just have my own website and pay less for it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So it was really interesting, like watching that switch where it went from, do you have a website? And I explained Etsy to, do you have an Etsy shop? No, I have a website.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, if I tell people I'm a designer, they always, first off, they think I am selling finished goods. And I'm like, no. And then they ask me, oh, do you have an Etsy store? Which now I say yes. But before I was like, no, I don't sell on Etsy. Well, where do you sell then? Well, there's a thing called Ravelry and I have my own website that has Shopify. Oh, okay. Like it was just interesting. But, I mean, the great thing about this community, you guys, is that as you've seen with Lindsay and I, the amount of support designers give one another is tremendous, especially when you can find a group of designers, typically women, that are so incredibly encouraging and supportive of one another and the success. Like, I'm part of a group where all of the people in the group are more successful than me. All of them. They're amazing. And all of them are so supportive of one another and encouraging and like, hey, did you try this? Oh, I did this. You should try this. Like it's awesome because we are all designers. Not one of us is anything else. We are all designers. And it is so amazing. I love that about our community. I don't know where the heck I was going with this, but I think that is just one of the best things. Oh, it's because one of them was telling me about the Etsy stuff. They're like, you really need to get on Etsy, diversify your pie a little bit more. Because what if Ravelry pisses somebody off and it goes away, and that's part of the reason why I got Shopify is I need to have my own set of place. And then it's just all the things. But that's why I got onto Etsy is it was recommended to me by some designers. I was like, okay, well, here we go. Let's go down this road. And I'm really happy I have, like, I still add stuff there and I like it. Definitely like it. I think I could do more work there to make it even better.
Right.
But I mean, that's life, right? That's everything.
I mean, that's never going to change. It's always going to be
it's like last night, at dinner, they were like, oh, yeah, I know this is your busy season. I'm so glad you're able to come out. I was like, yeah, but I got to work when I get home. And they looked at me crazy. I'm like, I say that, but you have to understand I got to go home and knit. Like I have to go home and knit. Yes, I'm working, but I have to go home and knit. Like I can't go to bed right away. I have to get started on this next thing. And they're like, oh, okay. But it is what it is. I'm just always working. But
yeah, no, I mean, like last night I left here at 9:20, I want to say, because like, again, the whole thing of like, I don't know how long it takes. And it's because my hands don't have a muscle memory for this thing. Right. Yes. Which is part of the reason why I make it in so many things. Cause I get that muscle memory, right? Yes. Like it builds. And so when I started putting in a zipper on a product, and it's like, again, I've never done it this way. This is a new assembly structure. And so I'm putting it in, and I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, I need to leave in like 35 minutes to get home for dinner. And I looked at the pile of things that I had and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Oh. And I hate leaving it in the middle of a step. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I need to finish this step or I'm gonna think about it all night.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, time to like turn it to 11, right? And so I was like, all right, here we go. And then like I'm it's taking me way longer than I think it should, right? I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. And then like I get to the last section of them and I look at the clock and I'm like, okay, it is 8:56. And I had this last stack and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And I finished it and I looked at the clock and it was like 9:09.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, that's good. Like that was good. I had like 15 minutes before I had to 10, 15 minutes before I had to leave, which is fine. But like just how fast it got as I was going through it because my hands knew what to do is so wild to see happen in the process.
Yeah.
You know, like the first 5 or 6, I'm like, oh, absolutely not, never again. And then like I get to like number 15, I'm like, this isn't so bad. And then I get to number 35 and I'm like, I got this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It's exciting.
And then
different.
of course me thinking that I was going to like go home and do what I'm doing, right? What I was doing when we got live, like doing the computer stuff. I took my laptop home. I took my laptop. I took my book. I took all the things. And I'm like, I'm going to do the things. No, I didn't. My husband and I watched 30 minutes of TV and I was like, can we go to bed? And he was like, absolutely. And I was gone. Like that was it. I was done. Like I had 3 pieces of pizza and crawled in my bed. Like,
yeah. I hear you. Did I tell you guys? So when I missed that Michael's class and I realized it when I went upstairs for dinner, we ate dinner and I think it was like 6:30, 6:45. And I was like, I need to go to bed. Like I was done. Day, I was like, that was it. I just can't do it.
When Hangmas is over, I'm in like, because like normally I'm live at 8. It typically goes until about 9:15. Just because like sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get live. Like sometimes there's an issue, like it's just not out. It's sometimes out of my control. So typically like 9:15, I'm done. And then I'll work for another 30, 40 minutes before I head home. And then typically, because Dave doesn't want to eat that late, which I totally understand, either I'll have eaten dinner here, like I packed dinner, eat dinner here, or I just go home and I make myself 2 eggs. I mix cheese into 2 eggs, shovel that into my mouth at the sink and go to bed. So because I can make 2 eggs in 5 minutes, like that's done. And then that's protein and I can sleep. Like it's fine. Also I really like scrambled eggs. So like
I love scrambled eggs.
I love scrambled eggs. So like it's fine. But so like when I'm done doing the lives, like in January, and I can just like work until like 9, I just go home. I'm just like, I'm just like, again, 2 eggs in bed, like 2 eggs in bed, 2 eggs in bed.
It's tis the season, right?
Tis the season. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't dislike it at all. Like, please don't misunderstand that. Like,
oh yeah.
I really like it, or I wouldn't do it. Like if I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it.
I would rather be busy than not busy. Like
same.
I don't think I even would know what to do if I didn't have 3 or 4 different things happening at the same time. Like I'm being honest to God. I don't think, first off, I would think that my business was failing. Like that would be the initial reaction. I'd be like, why don't I have any more going on? And then I honestly just don't think I would know what to do. I think I would really struggle. I would really struggle.
Well, me just thinking about all the things that I've got, like I've got Hankmas, the club shipment for December, the last shipment for 2024 has to go out in the next few days. And then the thing we're doing, which we should talk about when we get off here, because we've not made any plans.
Because what?
We have not really made much. I mean, we've made a plan, but not like much of one. And like,
all right,
are our dates still good? Do we need to move it again? Like,
no, I think we're still okay. I mean, I think we planned on still being okay. I mean, as long as we decided that we weren't going to tell them or show them what it is, we're going to tell them what it is.
Right.
No problem.
Okay. And then like, are you guys coming down? We got to figure it out.
Yeah. If you need a Laura and I to come down, we can. If you don't need us, then we don't have to. I'm good either way.
All right.
I am flexible. I'm bendy.
So you're what? You're bendy?
I'm bendy.
Okay, really can I tell you?
Yeah.
So, Dave bought that desk that we were talking about.
Yes. Oh, is this PG that you're going to tell us?
Yes.
Okay.
PG.
Okay.
So he got it all set up and everything. It's a really nice. I mean, like it really is quite lovely. So he got all set up in his office. After it weighs the desk itself weighs like 120 pounds. Like it took both of us to get it up the stairs. So it weighs like 120 pounds, and he was like, it didn't say to read all the directions first, so I didn't. And I'm like, who are you?
Oh gosh.
And then he goes, and then I get to the stage where it says like, you'll need 2 people to do this. And I was like, well, I ain't waiting. And so he turned the table over by himself, and he was like, that wasn't bad. Oh, so who knows?
Did he hurt himself?
What? No, he was fine.
All right.
Because like the packaging weighs a good bit too. You got to remember that, like the box and all the foam and all that has weight. And so like he got his computer set up on it and everything, and which is really nice because he used to have his back to the window, and now he can see out the window with the way it works, which is much better.
That'll be nice.
So he has the chair and the table from the same company.
Okay.
And he's like, come upstairs and see my computer. So I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be fun, right? So I go up and after we had disassembled the laser beams and come back home, I sat down in that chair because I was like, oh no, I don't like your chair. I don't like your chair. I was wrong.
Oh, you like his chair now?
I do like his chair. Because that chair, because you can lean, he leaned it back. He's like, here, stop. I was like, all right. And he's like, okay. Now he pulled some lever or pushed some button. I don't know. And then he's like, lean back. And then he locked it. And my feet didn't touch the ground. Oh. Like my feet could just dangle. And as a tall girl, that's a thing. That's nice. And then I was like, oh, and he had the pillow and it was just right. I was like, oh, I could take a nap in this chair.
Uh-huh.
And Dave was like, what do you think happens when I said I took a nap in my chair? I was like, oh, I thought you just fell asleep. And he's like, no.
That's cute.
And so I'm looking at the desk and the chair and I was like, maybe I do want this chair. Because the chair that I'd planned on buying was $400. That chair is $700.
Oh.
I'm probably not going to be able to make that upgrade anytime soon. But I am going to have to get that. I think I am probably going to get that desk because having seen all the cords being managed, oh girl, because half my problem with my desk is the number of cords on it. It makes me crazy.
Uh-huh.
It really bothers me. Yes. So the idea that I could get all of those cords straight down the back into there's a tray in the back where all the cords sit. And then you run it down a leg, and then you plug it into the table, and then the table into the wall.
Yes,
that sounds like my best life.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, but I don't know if I can afford the chair.
I get that. I mean, I would think that you'd still be able to even just keep sitting in it every night, just kind of be like, do I really like this? Do I really like this?
Yeah.
At least you have it at the house that you
I can try it. Yeah, I can try it. The problem I have with chairs, I don't know if you have the same problem that I do. Problem I have with chairs is if they hit my thigh in the wrong spot.
Yes.
It makes my feet fall asleep.
Yes.
Because I guess my thighs are longer than average.
I don't know. This chair, I have not had any problems with this chair. I really like this chair. And I can go back in the I like this chair. And I don't have to go back. My only complaints about this chair is the arms, because they're high enough that they don't fit underneath the desk. So I can only go up to the desk until the arms hit.
Okay,
so that's annoying.
Okay, so here's a question for you, because when I was researching office chairs, someone was like, there's 4D arms. I'm like, 4D, what? It's an arm on a chair.
Yeah.
It's in 3 dimensions.
Okay.
It's in real life. What's the 4th dimension?
Yeah.
Right? I'm confused. And then I see these people with their elbows on their armrests and they're typing. And I sent Dave a message and I was like, do you put your arms on your armrests while you type? And he goes, what else are they for? And I was like, for when you're just sitting in your chair. And he goes, wait, you don't put your arms on your armrest when you're typing? And I was like, do I not know how to sit in a chair?
Yeah, mine hit, I guess.
I don't, because like my keyboard, I like my keyboard further back on my desk. So my elbows and like my chair is
all over the place.
My chair is so wide that like if I had my elbows on my chair, I would have to like, I'd be like T-Rex in it to type.
Got it.
Because like the arms are just wider out. Like when I type, my arms are like by my sides.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's because I have massive hands. I don't know. So now I'm like, do I not know how to sit in a chair? And so when I sat in his chair and the armrests to the table are exactly right for you to have your elbows on the thing, I was like, oh, that's
lovely.
Nice. And I was like, I've never done that before. And my husband's response was, well, then you haven't typed enough. I was like, yeah, well, sewing requires you to move your arms. And I was like, I've typed a bunch. And he's like, yeah, but you don't have a novel manuscript. And I was like, no, but I have 15 years of Facebook captions.
That's funny. That's funny.
So that was, and he was like, that's fair. He really did. He was like, that's fair.
Valid. That's
I'm
really
like, you don't have to write Facebook captions. I write Facebook captions all the time. Newsletters, bro.
Yep.
Like, fair. And I was,
go ahead.
So, but then I had like a whole moment where I was like, do I not know how to sit in a chair? It was a real thing that I had to struggle with one day.
Who's to say? I mean, what was I doing? I did something once. Oh gosh, now I'm going to rack my brain. I was doing something where I did it one way and somebody was like, why are you doing it like that? And like, I was doing it way harder than it was supposed to be. And then they showed me, I was like, oh, well, that's a horse of a different color. That's much easier. Right.
Yeah.
I will have things like that quite often, actually.
Yeah. Well, because I was like, I don't like having like a headrest behind me. And then I had a headrest behind me. I'm like, maybe I do like a headrest behind me.
I like a headrest behind me.
So,
let me read. Amanda Woods.
I'm so short that nothing's ergonomically correct for me. Tish, I'm pretty sure that if you are not between 5'6" and 5'9", nothing is ergonomically correct for you anyway.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, I am 5'10". All of my friends are tall like me. Like Marley is tall, Jenny is tall, my husband is tall, my sister is tall, my sister's husband is tall. Like all the people in my life are tall people. And when I tell you that none of us have like the chair that I'm currently sitting in barely hits me mid-thigh.
Yeah, mine is, I'm at my knees. It's at my knees.
It's supposed to be. Mine is like, I can put my whole hand.
You still can't see.
I can put my whole hand between the edge of the edge of my chair and like the back of my knee. I can get my whole hand and like move it back and forth. And again, I don't have small hands. Yeah. So like
my chair is right at my knee.
And that's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I can move this. I'm telling you, this is one of the most comfortable chairs I've ever had.
And you said you got it at Costco?
Yeah, it's a gamer's chair.
Well, that's what my husband has.
Yeah, it's a gamer's chair. And I gotta move this thing. I have the plastic down here. And
yeah.
I got it at Costco, and it's been wonderful. My kids are like, if you get another chair, Mom, I want that one. I was like, okay. But it's been really good. I like it. And then I keep an ottoman underneath my desk that I put my feet up on.
Yeah, I used to have that, and now I have a dog.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
My dog is completely zonked. The rain has stopped, the thunder has stopped, and the trazodone has taken hold.
That's awesome.
She is just like, I mean, she's a noodle. Like normally she curls up and she's just like under my desk. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have something else. So I was in one of my designer groups today on Facebook. And I guess, remember we were talking about that lady and the 6-day blanket and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the new trend, and somebody could correct me, but I'm not on TikTok because it is a time suck for me and I just can't get on there. So I guess all over TikTok right now, the big discussion is people are saying you cannot copyright patterns. I just want to come on here to all of you and all of you who are in other groups who can help correct people. Patterns are copyrighted. You can't copyright a stitch. But the minute I write down that pattern, the way it's written, that pattern, that is a copyrighted pattern.
Yes.
Just letting you know. I just want to say that out loud because apparently I thought we solved this a couple years ago. Apparently not. People
so this is a conversation that also happens quite a bit I'm in bag making groups and quilting groups like I'm in a bunch of those groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot of things from these ladies that I would never have known. And the same thing is that like, oh, you can't copyright the pattern. Yes, you can. You can copyright it is a original work. You can copyright the pattern. Now, I will say this, the debate in my groups is typically, can you dictate how people use your pattern? So like, let's say I write a pattern for a bag and then I dictate that you can only use it for personal use. Like I can't do that. That's not how that works.
Nope.
Same thing. That's the debate. And like, I understand that like, there's some people who are like, I understand where that's coming from. They don't want it being mass produced by like, someone buys the pattern and then sends that information to a factory somewhere. And then that factory starts producing that bag en masse.
Right.
I get it. I get what you're trying to protect. I 100% support you.
But the law doesn't support you.
But the law doesn't support you. But if you wrote it down, if you wrote down that set of instructions, yes, absolutely. It is a copyright work.
Yeah. That's the same thing in knitting and crochet. So I hope I don't. I thought I changed them all. At one point in time, I put on there, you could not sell whatever you made from the thing again for the mass produced thing. And then I was like, well, and then I learned that you can't do that. And I was like, whatever, I don't care anymore. I want, if people want to make something of mine and go sell it at craft fairs, great. Please go do it. But yeah, that is a big discussion in ours too. Cause there are still some people who are like, you can't make this and go sell it. Well, yeah, they can. You can't dictate what people can and can't sell with their own stuff. When it comes to all of that. But yeah, all of that's, I guess that discussion is happening all around again. So just throwing that out there. Just thought I'd let that out there to the world of what's happening. What is this? I'm trying to read comments and they go so fast sometimes and then I miss them and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so here's my honest opinion.
That's a great question.
Okay, at what point though, if you make changes or adaptations, is it no longer the original design? I take bits and bobs from other patterns and make what I want all the time. My first stance on that is, what does your gut tell you? Ethically, what does your gut tell you? Second, I can change a pattern, right? Just slightly. And it can be my pattern if I rewrite the instructions. I can't just copy and paste instructions. Right. But if I rewrite them, like if I made a granny square sweater and I wrote it in my way, that's my sweater. So that's really, there isn't like 50% or 30%. What does your gut tell you?
Yeah.
Right.
So the law says, I actually looked into this. The law says that it has to be fundamentally different. That's the letter of the law, is it has to be fundamentally different.
So with patterns, it's because only the written instructions are copyrighted.
Right.
The actual product is not. That's why you could make, there are a sweater is a sweater is a sweater. A purse is a purse is a purse.
Yeah.
But the way you write those instructions is what I have copyrighted.
Yeah. No, 100%. Right? I completely agree.
So Cindy, it's like you could take my pattern, like you could take this pattern, change the stitch pattern up, right? Maybe you change the wording a little bit and that would be your pattern. You could say, oh, I'm using those dimensions. Great. That's totally your pattern, right? But if you take this pattern and you're like, I'm just going to change the sizing a little bit. No, that's not your pattern. That's not your pattern, right? Like, I feel like it's got to be smart.
Yeah. Well, and she also says, like, I'm not selling the patterns. I just want to know if I should credit the 5 people who inspired my item. That's
no, you don't have to do that. Nah. You don't have to.
But that's a completely valid question.
Absolutely.
Like, trying to do it right. Like,
yeah. And you don't have to.
That's a great, and like, there's times where like I'm inspired by somebody and I'm like, this was inspired by whatever, like, because that's how art is arted. Like, yeah, everyone is influenced by something.
Crap. Hold on. Oh, you also do not have to reference, like if you got a stitch out of a stitch dictionary, you don't have to reference that.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
No, you don't have to do that. I mean, you cannot copyright stitches. You can copyright like, techniques. That's why you'll see the term interwoven crochet or interlocking crochet. I think interlocking crochet is a trademark term.
Oh.
So that's why I used to call mine interwoven, because I didn't want to interfere with the trademark.
Trademark. That makes sense. Now, I will say I've seen a bunch of people debating that you can't copyright a set of instructions. And I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
That's
I've seen that argument is used a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Like, but you can't dictate, like if someone buys what you're wearing and they make it up to sell at a shop, at a trade show or at a, any kind of like craft fair, you can't stop them from doing that because it's your pattern. That's not a thing that's legal.
You can't do that at all.
No.
I'm going to find, hold on. I'm going to find a link to a video. Pam Grice recently on her, I don't know if it's a video podcast or what it is. She had a lawyer actually come on to talk about copyright because it's just been such a huge discussion. Give me a second. I got to scroll through this group I'm in so that I can find it.
I understand. So Elisa, can you have your patterns or designs patented? So a thing that people don't realize is that writing a patent is extremely expensive and it is an extremely long legal process.
Yes.
And patents are typically issued. You can have a design patent. You can have a utility patent. There's a couple other ones that you can have. And then patents, you have to have patents in multiple countries to protect. And then the other thing about patents is they're only as strong as the lawyer you can afford to defend them. So I don't know if you could have a pattern patented. I'm sure you probably could. Is it worth the time and energy? Like writing a patent can cost you anywhere between $10,000 and $100,000, like in legal fees and time. It's very expensive.
Getting my name trademarked was very expensive.
I can't even imagine.
It's all of it is very pricey. Let me make sure this link is working before I put it out there.
Yeah. So Cindy, the issue of these Etsy sellers and everywhere else just stealing people's patterns and selling them as their original work. So I buy a lot of my art assets that I use to design fabric with. I buy a lot of those on a place called Creative Market. Okay. That's where I buy most of my creative assets because the artist gets the majority of the money. Okay. So that is where I choose to spend my money to support artists. It's also a really robust database. The search engine is very good. It's got a good browse feature, a discover feature. It's reasonably priced for what I'm getting, and the designers are getting the money. But the number of times that I'm like, oh, I'm looking for this kind of like weird thing. I wonder if I'm going to find, like, I can't find it here. Maybe if I go on Etsy and find something similar, it'll give me a better keyword or a better term to use. And the number of times I have seen the art asset that is sold on Creative Market sold by a completely different person. Like they're on both platforms. Want to be very clear. Most of these artists are on both platforms. But like I've seen full art asset packs being sold by somebody different on Etsy for less. And they're literally just like, I bought it over here for this amount of money and I'm going to sell it over here for this amount of money. And it's not the original designer. It happens all the time.
People do it with crochet and knitting patterns all the time. If you ever see one of my patterns on Etsy, you guys, and it's not with me, it's not mine. It's not mine. Yeah. They do it all the time with individual patterns, with books, with free patterns. They will blatantly copy a free pattern, slap it together so that it's a collection, and then put it out there as a book. And they'll do that on Amazon. Like it's so disheartening. It just sucks. Karen, Robin uses something called AutoCAD to do all of her charts. And my other tech editor, Shiri, she uses Illustrator to draw all the charts. Yeah. It is time consuming and hard.
It is. There's not a program that does it automatically. You are hand placing every
And I'm talking about crochet charts.
Yeah.
There is a program. Stitch Fiddle does crochet charts, nothing like what I do.
Right.
And then for all of my knitting charts, we use Stitch Fiddle, like primarily. We will do Illustrator. We have Illustrator charts also, but we have become so proficient at Stitch Fiddle and offering that as a value add in the patterns so that you can use the Stitch Fiddle link to, especially for color work. We love it. So we use it a lot. Like I have so many Stitch Fiddle charts and whatnot. So yeah, that's why when it comes to crochet, that's why there are not many, I shouldn't say not many. It is expensive for a designer to have crochet charts made if they don't know how to do them.
Yeah.
Because it's a skill set.
It's a skill set. Look, it's a skill set. All the things that I've learned about Illustrator, I have learned by getting so frustrated that I had to figure it out. Like, yeah, I can, like, when I tell you that, like, I know what Robin did, like, because I have that fabric that has the granny square and the flower.
Yes.
That's the name of
yes.
It, on there. Robin sent me those charts. I didn't make those. And I can see how it's done. And I can see what she did. And I know exactly how it was created. And holy God, the amount of time it takes to make that chart, y'all, you don't know.
And she's really good at it. I mean,
I'm sure she can do it, and I'm sure because she's experienced at it. But like when I tell you that is not an easy thing to do, it's very technical. It's because I remember I asked you guys once, I'm like, oh, I want to make a crochet fabric. What program do you use to make these beautiful charts? And your response was, Robin does it by hand. And I was like, never mind.
Yeah.
No, yeah. That was literally never mind.
Yeah. And she uses AutoCAD. If you guys don't know what AutoCAD is, that's like what engineers do and architects to plan out things. Because she is she went to school to be an engineer. So she's used it forever. So it just made sense for her to use that. Yeah. And she's very, very good at it. And I get jealous of her because she will chart out something completely before she writes it, which I'm able to do for knitting.
Right.
But because I don't know how to do it, I can't draw charts in crochet. Like I struggle with that a lot. Because I'm such a visual person that if I will hand draw a chart out to plan out what I'm doing. I wish I was good at like what she does so that I could do it. Like what she does. But yeah. Elizabeth, Mikey has been having, because he will spend hours and hours and he's like in a position that he's trying to, so he's been struggling with his hand. I don't know all the details, so I don't want to say anything more. I know he's been vocal about it, but like he learned how to do charts from the Yarn Inspirations crew, and he's put a lot of work into him. He does a good job. He does a very good job. I literally wish I had the time to learn it. And I mean, if you sit down and I mean, but that would take from something else. And I just don't have it. I wish I could. But Diane, absolutely. If you guys don't know, Diane is a librarian as well. Correct, Diane? I'm pretty sure. And I also, copyright even extends to free patterns. Let me be clear. Yeah. A pattern you buy is copyrighted. A pattern that is free on a website is copyrighted. So even if you're in a Stitch and Bitch group and you find one of my patterns that's free, you're like, oh, this is great. I'm going to print off 8 copies of this. You're violating copyright. You could print off one that's yours and then send them to Link so that they can go get their own, but you are violating. And I get it. It's one of those crimes. It's like, how's anybody going to know? I guess you have to sit with yourself with that. You have your own, what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for.
I don't either.
Anyways, so Robin just sent me a message.
Okay.
And she said that this is up.
It's a jolly holiday with Marley.
I know, right? So you guys can read through all this if you want. And obviously Jolly Holiday is still up. But if you don't know, I'm going to mention it again. This is Advent style. So we are, revealing 2 patterns every day. So far, this is what you've gotten so far. It's not a bad collection so far.
I like it.
Coming. So it's 1 knit pattern, 1 crochet pattern for a total of 12 knit, 12 crochet. And if you buy that Jolly Holiday right now, it's $24, which would be $1 a pattern. But every day there is a pattern for free. Is today day 5 or day 6? Oh, this is what it is. So we left the sugar biscuit and the sugar cookie up.
Yeah.
So this is day 5 is up. So we left this up so you could click this and then keep scrolling. Here's day 6.
Got it.
So day 6 is down here, and look at how hot she is.
She's so pretty. That's my best friend.
She's a good looking little.
That's my best friend.
We were trying to name this thing last night, a couple nights ago, and we were just like, okay, what are some holiday characters? And we're going through. I'm like, what's the name of Cameron Diaz's character in The Holiday? And we're like, oh, Amanda Woods. I'm like, that's what we're gonna call it.
Amanda Woods.
Like
Amanda Woods. Yep. You are like the voiceover is the best.
Yes. It just made me think of, like, this thing makes me think of when I wear it, I'm all cozied up in it, and I can just sit, and I just love it. So I just imagined her cozied up at the little cottage wearing it. So that's why it was called the Amanda Woods. Don't miss the Marley and Lindsay show. So that's where click here and click here, and you'll get these 2 patterns. They're only free until noon tomorrow. And I know there's some of you, well, why would I buy them if they're free? If you want everything together in a collection inside the Marley Birdhouse, and you want to support your favorite designer, then that's why you would buy them. So that's how that goes. At the end of the day, we have heard it from you many times. Patterns have copyrights. If you choose to share without crediting the author, shame on you. Yep. Yep. This is how it is. Let's see here. Hello. This is she has a podcast also. Tonight, Alabama Kim, right? Not Alabama Kim. Help me out. Like I'm losing my memory. She used to call in on the podcast all the time. Yeah, Alabama Kim. I was right. I was like, am I losing my mind? Alabama Kim. All the groups I mod and admin, I make sure that they keep an eye on them, or I will not be affiliated with them at all. Thank you so much. Like, I know that you are an admin of the knit chat group that I try and post in on Saturdays for sure. And they're really good about all of that as well. Okay. Tomorrow starts Hankmas, or tonight?
Tomorrow.
I was like, I think it's the 19th. So tomorrow starts Hankmas. 20
some odd hours.
Okay. It's unreal. And where can they go to find out the details on Hankmas? And then I want to ask you, what's the flash sale today?
Okay. So all the details about Hankmas, there's an event on our Facebook page.
Let me get the Facebook page.
Let me send you the link in the private chat.
Okay.
Can
I just tell you, I've never worn this with a shawl pin before, and
I love it with a shawl pin.
I am loving it. Like, loving it. It feels so good.
That's the link for the Hankmas event on Facebook. If you want to watch on Facebook, you can watch it on the app, or you can watch it on our website. Like, all 3 places it will be broadcast. And then I made a whole page. About Hankmas. I was so proud of myself. And then I remembered to put it on the navigation. Go me.
And it's December 19th to what?
The 31st. We obviously are not live on the 25th because it is Christmas. I'm taking Christmas off. And then there's a page, like, if you want to know about Hankmas, there's like all the FAQs for Hankmas are there on that page. Okay. And the flash sale today is Tiny Trips. I don't think you know what that is.
I don't know what. Hold on. All right. I'm trying to put all of the links. I just put the link in the video description box so that way you guys can see that. Oh gosh. My hands. I've been knitting nonstop, you guys. That's cute. You're very welcome. If you notice, we try really hard to like put the name of where you might have bought the pattern. So it will usually say Etsy-FV1, which means full. So it's a full PDF, not a reduced file PDF. So it's a full version 1. So it'll say Etsy-FV1 or Ravelry-FV1. So I know where you bought it, so that if somebody comes to me, they're like, I got this pattern, but I don't have any record of them buying it. I can be like, oh, so that's usually, and then if it's the Marley Birdhouse, I think usually we'll put Marley Birdhouse. I try and add my name in there somewhere so that if you were doing a search for Marley Bird, it would come up. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I try to do.
So this is the tiny trip. It's got like a vinyl pocket on the front. Like, so this is a zippered vinyl pocket. So
why don't I have one of those?
Because you haven't been here since I designed it. That's not true. You would have seen it at DFW, but I never saw you at DFW.
No, I didn't get to walk your booth at DFW.
So, and then the inside is like, you get a little like pocket here, and then you can like put your key on it or whatever. Because so I have a whole bunch of teachers and a whole bunch of nurses who are like, I wish there was something I could put my ID in and keep like my essentials in so that I don't, like that made sense. And so like as a teacher, this would be great for your ID because then you can still have like, I would have had, if I was a teacher, I would have had like a list of my roles in here. So that there's just one thing if there's an emergency, like all that stuff. So these are 20% off today.
That's cute.
With code TINY, TINY, TINY.
That's cute.
So, you get both fabrics on it.
That's really great.
And like this pocket is actually a lot bigger than you think it is. Cause like you can go like this way, but also like that's space too. So just know, like if you put stitch markers in it, they might get stuck up in that little tiny part.
It happens.
So
can I just tell you? So like I have all my stitch markers that you made me in here. So the like yarn balls, and they're all the crochet ones. Yeah. I want some, when you make these again, if you make these again, I would like some knitting ones.
Then are those the villain yarn?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think, what did you tell me this one was? Alice in Wonderland? Yeah, that's Alice in Wonderland.
I think so.
And then I have Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I sent you Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I have Mary Poppins. I love
Vicky.
These.
Yes, you can get more than one at a time. I have had a couple people who've messaged me. They have an issue when they go to add something to their cart and they go back to add something else. It'll take the first thing out of your cart. I asked Shopify why this was because Lonnie, I don't know if you're here, Lonnie had this problem and she sent me a video because Lonnie is the best. And I sent that video to Shopify and they said that if that happens to you, you need to clear your cache and clear your cookies. So, but yes, you can get more than one. Absolutely.
That's cool. That's awesome. This little thing here on it looks like a really nice porcelain sort of whatever.
Yeah.
My contract stitcher and friend Tammy bought this for me. And on the inside, it says FUCK it. So it's like this really dainty thing. And she's like, I knew you would love that. I'm like, yes. That's fantastic. Amazing. It's really great. It's really great. I like it a lot. So it holds all my markers. I know I showed this the other day. I like this. I know this was probably just like an add-on of something, but I find this very handy. It's just that like the putting the little like hook on it is real weird because like it's sewn on a diagonal and it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. I like it. I like them. It's just that like I try to do something small like that every year. So there's like a little doodad bag. I try to do something like that for Hankmas every year. Yeah. And like that was the one from last year. Like I'm going to take this with me to Disney so that I have all my stuff in it. Cause I leave for Disney, Friday morning. Tomorrow is the 19th. That's Thursday. Yeah. Friday morning. So I got to get all my work. So are you guys going to spend Christmas at Disney? Like the 25th? No. Okay. No. We're going to be home Sunday night. So I'll be home Sunday night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what you're doing? Yes. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Are you guys staying on property? No. Okay. So yeah, so we got to talk about timing and stuff. Cause I leave here like at 5 a.m. And then get to Florida like 7 or 8. So I probably won't be able to do anything on Friday. And then Saturday I could do Saturday morning. Okay. Saturday morning's fine. And then I will tell you then after that what I could do on Sunday because I don't get home until like midnight. Yeah. Like it's all day. Okay. All day. Yeah. I got nothing else. You got anything else? I'm tapped out. I'm out. It's all I got. That is all I got. I'm so excited to show you guys tomorrow's patterns. I think they're great. You're going to it's amazing. It's amazing. You're going to love them. Somebody had asked where I got my shawl pins and all of my like little buttons that I use. Those are Jewel, Jul designs. They're fantastic. I love them. They are pricey, but you can mix and match them, and
they do last a very long time.
A long time.
They're very high quality.
I love them. They are great. And then don't forget the Bernat all-in-one blanket granny. That's what it's called. It is available at
link is in the description box.
Yeah, it's at yarnspirations.com. While you're there, if you want to download some patterns, that would be great. Because that always helps, especially if you use my link to get there. But yeah, so here we go. I think I'm good. I think that's it. All right. Everybody else good? Anybody else have any other questions? I'm gonna give you just a second. Oh, Muncie, you're almost done? She's almost done with her Cocoon.
Yay!
She's fantastic. She is a prolific knitter.
Yes.
Pretty fantastic. All right. I'm waiting for you guys. Merry Christmas to you, Kim.
Merry Christmas.
I'm scrolling up.
One more sleep till Hankmas. Don't remind me, Lonnie. I'm not panicking. I'm fine.
I'm scrolling down. Hearts, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Question: are fictional characters are also copyrighted? Yes.
Yes.
Although you are not using, yes. Like you can't use
it's someone else's intellectual property.
Yep.
IP.
Yeah.
You are infringing on their IP, intellectual property.
Yes. Yep. So like if you were writing a book or something and you wanted to have somebody do a cameo, like from one of your other books, you couldn't do that.
Ask,
it's not your character.
So that's a good question. When will the crochet for Jolly Holiday be up?
Oh, she's working on it right now.
Okay. So
yeah, she's actively working on it. That's why she was like, please show. I thought, oh, I have to give her romance copy. Once I give her romance copy, it looks like it'll be up. So I've got to make romance copy for the what did you name it? Let me ask her what she named it. What did you name it? Are you watching, Robin? Are you paying attention? I don't know if you're watching. She gets enough of me throughout the day. I'm sure she's done with it. Even her kids walk in the office. They're like, is that Marley?
Well, your kids walk in the office and go, is that Lindsay? So.
Is that Lindsay? Or is that Robin? The Martha. Oh, that's right. Martha crochet baby sweater. Okay.
I'll be off work again today after 9 days off. Had plans. Someone save me.
Okay. Martha crochet baby sweater. Martha is the sister of Suki. Oh no, is Suki's daughter. Martha is Suki's daughter. I still haven't watched that.
You would love it.
I know. Everybody says that. I just don't have the time. I don't watch TV. Oh, I am on. I'm sorry. I said I was going to go. I'm on book 9. I am on book 9. Hold on. Let me see where I am. I have stop. I have 16 and a half hours left. Can I just tell you? I'm just really enjoying it. I'm just really enjoying it.
I finished my book this morning, like on the way into work. And I think I'm just going to go to Smarty Pants Romance. Like, she has like 7 or 10 that are released throughout the year. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just going to start because like I've read everything in the universe. So it's just like, it doesn't matter. I can just read any of them. Uh-huh. So that's what I'm going to do because I just need it to be fluff. I need brain cotton candy.
Yep. Brianna, we extended the deadline until today because I didn't have the lessons out. So we extended the deadline to today. So I'm pretty sure Chrissy's picking them tomorrow. That'd be my guess. All right. Kathleen, what does this say? Question is just above, but if you want to wait, it's cool. I don't understand.
There was a question. I don't. Is it by Kathleen?
Yeah, that was.
What can you recommend needles for people with bad grip and a pattern for beginning knitting? The struggle to grip needles with left hand is crazy, but I need to make your shawl. LOL.
Needles that's
Harder.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Would it be better to just like adjust how you like hold them like a pencil versus a grip like this or like this? I don't know. How would you do that? Like crochet hook, you can have a bigger handle, but needles,
you can't.
No.
I don't know. I would think you'd need to, like, for instance, I know that I can't knit on nickel plated needles because I rub the nickel finish off and my hands smell like pennies. Don't know how nickel smells like pennies, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a steel needle because it feels best in my hand, but maybe try like bamboo because they're stickier. Like they're less likely to be slippery in your fingers, or maybe try like larger gauge knitting because it's easier to grip would be my guess.
Right. As far as the
square needles, that's a good suggestion, Carly.
Yeah, that is a good. Square needles are good.
Or the hexagonal needles; those are really nice. By oh my god,
Indian Lake Artisans.
Indian Lake Artisans.
Yeah, they're amazing. As far as
knitting gloves, that's a great idea, Julia. Where you had like the grippy gloves.
Yeah, I've never used them,
so I don't know. That's a good
idea. As far as a beginner pattern, I would literally start with like a dishcloth or something. Start with something really small that it doesn't matter like if it looks good or anything. You're just practicing your stitches. I think that's the best. Yes, Indian Lake Artisans, they're some of my favorite people ever.
They're lovely people. And their needles are actually handmade. Like he's literally making every single one.
They are the best people, you guys. They
really are.
You want to support people who are good company and good people? Like they are good people.
They're good people.
They're fantastic people.
They're also hilarious.
They're hilarious.
Hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. I told them recently I wanted to go up there with John to go spend time at their cabin, at their house. I was like, I want to come up because I live here now, so I don't live so far away. They're like, yeah, absolutely. All right, that really is it. We're good. We're good for the day. Good. All right. I am writing the copy, the romance copy. My guess is Robin has everything ready but that. So I'm gonna figure that out. And then it should be up. So here's the deal. As soon as it's up, that's when I'll send out the email because I won't send out the email before then. So you'll get the email if you don't want to keep checking back, or you can keep checking back and just spend some time on the Marley Bird website. Up to you. All right, I'm going to go. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.